Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about 4 mistakes that couples make when booking their wedding photographer. I'm not going to waste any time at all. We're going to jump right into these mistakes. So mistake number 1 is waiting too long to book your wedding photographer. So in the past couple of months, I've been getting a ton of inquiries from couples who say they're getting married in the next 2 or 3 months. I will be very honest and say that if you are waiting this long to book your wedding photographer, there is a very good chance that you won't find, the person that you like won't be available. So I suggest a year to a year and a half, or really as soon as you've booked your venue and you have your wedding date, that's when you should be looking to book your wedding photographer. I feel very bad having to respond to these couples and say, I am so sorry, but we are not available for your wedding. I even had someone yesterday actually reach out and say they were getting married at the end of this month. I already have a wedding booked for the date in question. And so I had to tell them, I apologize. I am not available for your wedding, but not only am I not available for your wedding, but I don't have anybody to refer you to because I know for a fact that everyone that I refer out to is already booked for that same weekend. So my tip there is make sure that you book your wedding photographer as soon as you have your wedding venue and wedding date locked in. Mistake number 2 is not giving enough information in your inquiry or when you reach out via email. So us wedding photographers are human and we love to know your story and we love to get to know a little bit more about you. It really helps us capture moments that are unique to you and really tell your story. So if I know that, and if you say that you love his dark blue eyes or you love her beautiful smile every time she giggles, those are definitely things that I'm going to try to pull out of you guys during your engagement session. So make sure to give us lots of information when you're chatting with us or when you are writing your email, when you're reaching out to us, or even in your inquiry form. I know that many of my couples know that when I'm working with you or when I'm chatting with you, I do try to pull some of this information out of you because I really do try and focus on your story. That brings us to mistake number 3, where many couples are not viewing the engagement session as important. I'll tell you that your engagement session is just as important as your actual wedding day photo shoot, the pictures that we're taking on your wedding day, because your engagement session is what's really going to prepare you for working with me as your wedding photographer, getting you comfortable, and you get to use those pictures for things like save the dates, for your bridal shower, in your home, you get to hang them up on your walls, or even like make an engagement album. But really, really, the engagement session is super important. So that way you can learn how I work, my personality, and how I interact with you to really pull out those emotions. If there's anything that you see that you're not really feeling on your engagement session, it's super easy for us to fix that instead of, trying to really stumble through it on your wedding day. So the engagement session is super important. And then, of course, finally, mistake number 4 is, and I'm so sorry to say this, but it is going cheap with your wedding photographer. I totally understand that everybody has a budget that they want to stick to and that, you maybe are very strict on. But when it comes to your wedding photography, I encourage you to really look at your budget and see really what that number is, as opposed to just pulling a number out of a hat and saying, well, this is what I think it is. I believe that national average is to invest about 15% of your wedding budget on your wedding photography. So you'd want to keep that in mind when making your budget. I know that there are people out there that are like, well, these numbers are completely outrageous. Like, I can get my cousin to do it. And you're absolutely right. You totally can. But there are a few advantages to working with a professional. And so some of those advantages are that, 1, I am skilled in understanding how to actually shoot a wedding, which maybe your cousin is and maybe he's not. I'm also available for you before the wedding, and there is a lot of planning that we do together. I also am removed from your family situation, so I really do keep an eye out for everybody's reactions, a lot of these special moments. I crawl around if I have to get the perfect angle for your couple's portraits. I have lots of experience working in different types of ceremonies, such as Jewish ceremonies, Catholic ceremonies, ceremonies where we're more restricted in moving, ceremonies where we can move all over the place to get all of these different angles of photos for you. So you really do want to work with somebody who is skilled and is able to capture your wedding day the way that you see it in your head, as opposed to just shooting pictures and you maybe getting some that you like and maybe not. So I highly recommend that instead of looking at how much a wedding photographer costs, you look at a few things like, do you connect with them in terms of their personality? Do they produce work that you enjoy and that you really see yourself in? And are they able to eloquently and confidently explain how they approach shooting your wedding day? And finally, do they care about your vision? And if you are still in search of a wedding photographer, you can visit crystalstewartphoto.com to check out my work. You can also fill out the inquiry form on the page there, and I try to get back to you as quickly as possible so that way I can get to know you and get to know all about your wedding. So I hope that these tips help you, and I hope that being aware of these 4 mistakes really open your eyes and help you when it comes time for you to book your own wedding photographer.